Let's take it across to Pankaj. He's been tracking the company very closely to give us a broad overview of what's really going on at Sanofi. Pankaj?
So, Aisha, all of these MNC pharma stocks which are listed here in India have been doing pretty well, and Sanofi is really no different. On a YTD basis, 37% is the hike that you've seen on the stock. For the last 6 months, I was checking the returns, and for the 6 months, it's been amazing on the positive side. FY20 PE of the company would be about 28. This is based on consensus EPS estimates for FY20. Now, remember, Sanofi India needs no introduction. It's a subsidiary of Sanofi SA, which is, of course, a global French company. It's ranked among the 18th Indian pharmaceutical company with a market share of 1.7%. They have therapies like diabetes, cardiologists, CNS, you can name rare disease, you can name good disease. That's what they have. Now, I would like to highlight some of their drugs that they have. So, Lantus, which is, of course, the antibiotic drug, is the main drug for the company. You also have, drugs like Combiflame, Allegra, which are quite common. Combiflame is a pain relief drug. Allegra is a respiratory drug, which are quite common. Some of the other antibiotic drugs and vaccination in polio is also something which the company has done. Over years, what has been the strength of the company? Very, very strong brand recall. They manufacture majority of their products in-house, and recently they have started on the OTC basis. So they are starting to leverage their power brands, as they are calling it, at the company. Financials of the company in the last 3 years have seen a recovery. In fact, they have been superb. You look at the sales numbers, CAGR, just 8% growth, but you look at the profit numbers, 19%. Power brands, which is the main brands or main leverage brands that the company has been growing 2 times the industry. Power brand sales have increased almost about 50% versus 34% in the last 3-4 years. ROEs of the companies have improved to 15%, and EBITDA margins have gone back to the levels of 22%, which had come down to 17.8. It's a very, very rare management that you see on the TV. In fact, the guest that we'll get now is the first time since he has become the head of Sanofi India, is something which will be doing a media appearance.
I think the first point to remember is that we've been in this country since 1956. So our presence in India has been built over a considerable period, which is over 60 years, across a wide range of therapies. And it is during this period that we have built substantial presence through a lot of innovator brands which have come in diabetes, in cardiovascular diseases, in anti-epileptic therapies and vaccines. So I think slowly and step by step, we have made these medicines more and more accessible, and that's how power brands have got built in the pharmaceutical industry, and particularly by companies such as ours. Going ahead, I think there's clearly a premium for quality, and I think brands which consistently stand for delivering outstanding quality as well as deliver the best outcome in the experience of physicians will continue to grow. And I think it is there that we see an opportunity for our power brands to continue to grow.
Okay, let's talk about the Indian market. The growth rate in India was impacted in the last 3 to 4 years. Do you expect a pickup? The pickup that's coming through to sustain actually?
If you look at the last 5 years, barring the 1 year where we've had an issue with GST as well as demonetization, the Indian pharma market has grown anywhere between 9 to 11% consistently. So there's no reason not to be optimistic that a similar rate of growth should continue in future. That having been said, I think there's a premise which we must examine. First of all, in India, the disease burden is extremely high across a wide range of diseases. And healthcare continues to be a highly underserved sector. So for organizations which participate in actually serving more and more patients, I think the opportunity to build an industry clearly exists. Secondly, I think in the recent past, the government has brought healthcare to the top of the agenda. And we've been seeing a lot of policies getting announced, and I think the Prime Minister's Ayushman Bharat policy is something that is now playing out. So that gives an opportunity for various players in the healthcare sector to participate and grow. So if you look at both the aspect of the underserved population in terms of the therapies available, as well as the emphasis by the government, we should see the industry growing quite healthily. Nevertheless, it's important that the policy framework remains predictable and stable. I think that's really what will enable the industry to deliver consistent growth.
Okay, so what is the size of the insulin market in India, and is it rapidly growing? What's the kind of volume and value share of Sanofi in this entire segment?
So if you look at the patient population, we are talking anywhere between 75 to 80 million patients in India. who suffer from diabetes. A very small number of them actually get treatment which is satisfactory. And insulin is one of the therapy solutions which enables patients who are not on control with regular medicines to actually bring their diabetes under control. And we see more and more of insulin growth being supported by better education of doctors, newer medicines being available. And as we bring in a pipeline of insulins into the market, I think we should see this area grow much faster than it has been in the past. It is a gold standard of treatment in most parts of the world. Many parts of the world, patients are encouraged to even start with insulin because it does give a long and stabler outcome to patients who are suffering from diabetes. But then for every patient, there is a specific therapy which his or her physician will prescribe.
Okay. So do you think a gradual transition of patients from human insulin to modern insulin is the big opportunity for Sanofi?
I think the transition is taking place because we see better outcomes in terms of disease management with the new modern analog insulins. And we see the transition taking place as more and more physicians experience the product, as more and more patients actually come and ensure that their treatment is to control. And as wider access is made available for these modern insulins by companies like us through better distribution, through different SKUs becoming available, through different price points, and more awareness building.
Your flagship brand is in Indian diabetes. How are you looking to leverage other brands, especially when it comes to the pain relief space, Combiflam that is, and anti-allergies in Allegra?
So we look ourselves as a diversified healthcare company. We are present across therapies. On one hand, we are in the area of preventable diseases through our vaccines. We have been in the vaccine area for a very, very long period of time, and we have been very closely working with the Government of India in the delivery of treatments for injectable polio vaccine. In fact, we are very proud to say that 1 out of 2 babies who were born in India are administered a vaccine from us. On the other hand, we have the new NCD areas developing in the area of diabetes, so we have products there. We have products in the area of cardiovascular diseases, in the area of anti-epileptic treatments. And if you go further down, we are now into OTC and consumer healthcare, where we have brands which are now extending, brands like Combiflam. Then, of course, we have acute care products which are in the area of Allegra for respiratory treatment or for allergy, as well as brands like Entrogermina for antidiarrheal treatment. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we have a portfolio for rare diseases. These are diseases which inflict a very few number of patients, but they can be fatal if not treated early. And you need a few companies to really work on them because there are very few patients who exist, but they still need that care. And we are one of the companies in the world which have made available these diseases for a large number of patients. So we are really across the entire spectrum of products. And wherever we see an opportunity for our pipeline to be served into India, we do that. And we, as you know, are in the top 5 pharmaceutical companies across the world. We are primarily a research-driven company, and our pipeline of innovative products is continuously being made available into markets like India.
Right. What are the new upcoming launches from the parent? Which are the new therapies you're focusing on?
Can't say much about everybody else, but certainly for Sanofi, we are entering new therapies. We are introducing new innovations in our existing therapies. Recently, we have upgraded our insulin portfolio with the launch of a new insulin glargine. We have another couple of them in the pipeline. We have entered a new area, which is multiple sclerosis, where we have just launched the lead product, which is Obagio. We are following it up with another product, which is Lemtrada. In a couple of weeks, we have expanded Combiflam into topical pain treatments, and first in the area of pain relief gels, and we're going to have new products in the area of pain care. And as we go ahead in the area of rare diseases, in the area of atopic dermatitis, We have products which are either in the final stages of launch readiness or in phase 3 trials. So we should be there with the whole pipeline in the next few years. And I think India is a country where we are fully committed to make available all our innovations.
Okay. Earlier when your company launched products, it took time to mature and grow the product. But over the years, as an industry trend, companies build a strong distribution network. So any new products launch that will take less time to reflect in your growth numbers, perhaps?
In general, yes, because of course, it would depend entirely on what's the therapy you enter in, because we are also into a lot of specialist therapies. And over there, there are a fewer number of physicians and experts who are available, and fewer number of patients. Over there, a more targeted niche distribution system tends to come into play. However, for creating access to a wider number of patients, an established distribution system like ours, which has been built over the last 60 years, comes in extremely handy. Not just from access point of view, but also from ensuring that you are managing the quality in the entire chain. As you know that these medicines, have to be delivered to the corner of India in the same, shape and quality standards in which they were developed. And for patients to get the best outcome, it is important that the entire supply chain from manufacturing till it is delivered is maintained for consistent quality. And I think it is there that established companies like ours tend to have an advantage.
Okay, you are one of the few companies who has exports. So tell us about the export market. How's it looking? Do you expect growth there?
Origin actually is from the fact that we've been in the country for 60 years and we have developed manufacturing facilities in India. So we have 3 large manufacturing setups, 2 in the area of solid pharma and 1 dedicated for vaccines. And these products are made available to markets in West Europe, in Southeast Asia, in Australia. And we see more and more demand for Indian products because our factories are certified for the markets where they are available. And therefore, I expect that there will be bigger and bigger opportunities for companies like ours who have world-class standards in terms of manufacturing and have been able to develop a cost structure which is highly competitive over the years in India.
Mr. Rajaram, couldn't thank you more for joining us today and speaking with us exclusively on the channel. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us.